sparks echo in the dark. Mark and Steve ignite the spark. Dive deep inside the mind.
Hey, welcome everybody. We are back live this week with Kentucky Talks, and with us again in the studio is Aaron Taylor. So we're going to talk a little sports. We're going to talk a little sports tonight. Steve can't be with us tonight, so sitting in the producer's chair is Kathy, my lovely wife, and just give her a shout out and say thank you for coming and sitting in for us.
Shout out to Kathy. Thank you for coming in and sitting in for us.
Thanks, Aaron. So Aaron, I don't have a lot of news to talk about tonight, so let's just go right into sports if you don't mind.
Perfect.
All right, man. Why don't you hit us up? What you got for us today?
What about the Green Waves, man? Let's start there.
All right. Yeah, the boys played baseball.
Yeah, the boys do play baseball. The boys played at Hancock County, or played at home last night against Hancock County, I should say. Got a 4-2 dub. They will travel there tonight at 5:30. So I wanted to hit it first because, about an hour.
Yeah, and while the boys were playing there, the girls were down playing at Hancock County, I believe. But they ended up in the loss, one-run loss, 9-8. At Hancock County, it looks like. So that's unfortunate, but you can't win them all. But I think that brings the girls to my count is 10 wins and 6 losses on the year. How about the boys? How they doing?
The boys are 13-4, both though number 1 in their district. So
I think
that's there.
Yeah. So So but I think traditionally the girls softball has been pretty strong at Meade County. Maybe a little bit slower start this year than normal, but with 6 losses at this point. But I think that they're going to get better and better. The season's still young.
Yeah, and plus with all the inspiration from Church League softball here in Meade County.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, I'm sure that's rubbed off on the girls too. So they've got to compete with that product.
I'm telling you.
Hey, I do want to jump into this NIL stuff. It's been a hot topic around the water cooler at my work as well. So Tennessee quarterback Nico. Now I've got it in front of you. You got it pulled up.
I'm looking. Hold on,
because I want you to look at this and just how ironic it is that this guy spells his name like this. I want you to break it down phonetically for us.
Hold on, just a second. It is
first name Nico.
Let me find it here in the list here. Nico. Yeah, I noticed this in the rundown when you sent it out to me last night. But all right, the way it looks, guys, it's spelled. First of all, it's spelled IAMALEAVA, which really comes down if you like Aaron said, if you pronounce it phonetically, it's Amalevia.
I mean, how great is that? I mean, you couldn't. Yeah,
you can't write the joke better than that,
no,
right?
You could not. Leslie Nielsen is rolling over in his grave.
I'm telling you, but I think it's Ian. I think it's Ian Maleva.
For the sake of this, I am Olivia. Yeah. he's going to be gone.
We're going to call him. We're going. His first name is Nico. So we're just going to call him Nico. I think that's what most broadcasters do. So not that we're in that league, but hey, it's kind of.
It's a weird name.
It is.
But it's perfect for the situation. So basically, he's Tennessee's starting quarterback last year. Dude threw almost 3,000 yards, 19 touchdowns. He led Tennessee to a 10-3 record. They were in the college football playoff. But here comes the topic of discussion. In every league, there's a salary cap, except, of course, baseball. And we've seen that with the Yankees many, many years. Money doesn't always equate to championships, or even success. I know they missed the playoffs a lot, too, over there in New York. But anyway, with this NIL stuff, I'm going to explain to you, Mark, what I thought the O'Bannon boys started, the NIL, the name, image, and likeness for college football games, all this stuff, and the big celebration that NCAA 25 came out this year. And I know a lot of people out there know Gabe Chapman. He called me. He's like, hey, we used to play this game together, NCAA 2005, and now they've got 25 coming out. But anyway, basically what I understood it as is now they're going to be able to basically sign autographs, get or endorsements.
All those things that the colleges were kind of making. Colleges were making money or NCAA was making money off of it, but the kids weren't making anything. And that's what we all kind of agreed that the kids need something. But man, they have twisted NIL into something that wasn't meant to be.
Well, and I just want to take it a step further too and play devil's advocate because I agree. It's I heard the story a long time ago about AD. Anthony Davis, the 23 Kentucky jersey was like the #1 selling jersey.
Right.
And 23 for a lot of reasons too, obviously. But Anthony Davis donned it and sales spiked right after he, left campus and was on campus for that matter. And I remember people saying, how much money is Kentucky making off of that? And Anthony Davis isn't making any. And then you had what was his name? I just had it, but the Ohio State quarterback that had the tattoos and he was doing autographs to the tattoo parlor and all that stuff. He got free tattoos and things, and he was facing suspension.
Yeah,
I think it started with a T, I think. But anyway, it doesn't matter to me. And
Yeah.
I want you to answer this for me because I just really don't know. This is now starting to kind of feel like free agency and going to where the dollars are biggest coming from the school. Like Nico, I'ma leave you. He asked for more money from Tennessee.
I heard it was
$4
$4 million. He
Absolutely.
wanted $4 million to stay, and it's like, and Josh Heupel, their coach,
Yes.
was like, no, thanks, but nobody's bigger than. I think what he actually said was, "There's nobody bigger than the program."
And he went on to say,
he said, not even himself is bigger than the program.
hey, he channeled George W. I don't know if you saw. He went on to say, we don't negotiate with student athletes.
Yeah.
So there was a little kind of a precedent set there by the athlete to hold out and demand more money. But then there was a precedent set as well that Tennessee said, we're not playing ball. And if you want to run it down just real fast before we continue, he was offered $2 million already. He wanted $4 million. Well, then he transfers to UCLA and he ended up with 1.75. Now he's living in California, much higher cost of living, and taxes are going to eat that up. So I don't know if he just thought maybe he wasn't worth the $2 million from Tennessee and said, I'm not worth that. So cut some money from me, but because that's what he ultimately did. But my question to you, Mark, is where do we draw the line? Because now you're in a bidding war, which we understand that college athletics, the student athlete, it's always kind of been a bidding war. These pro days and these recruiting trips, it's who can shine up the diamond better.
Yeah, it used to be who can get me enough exposure.
Yeah.
To who can get me enough exposure to get to the next level, to build the brand. But now the kids are coming out. Excuse me, the kids are coming out, brand savvy, and they're already coming out saying, "Well, I am the brand." And I think that's part of what was happening with Kentucky basketball for a while. There is you're trying to build a program. You're trying to cater to the kids again, come here and always want them to be here. But then it's like now they're, some of the better athletes are like, oh, hey, I want mine now. And it was, by the way, it was Terrell Pryor.
Terrell Pryor. I knew I said it started with a T.
You did.
Wasn't that good enough?
Yeah, it was good because I got that off the Columbus Dispatch real quick. Just
good
pull
job.
it down.
Thank you.
Pull it
Terrell
down.
Pryor.
But these kids today, the NIL was intended to be, let me go sell my name, image, and likeness. So if I wanted to go to, so if EA Sports wanted to put out college football, 2025 or whatever, then they could go in as a collective and negotiate with the individual players to get those images on there. Now, of course, it makes it very difficult for them to get everybody on there. That's why usually you have to go under a brand, like a bigger brand like NCAA, who then has the rights to be able to do that. Because how is EA Sports going to go and it's already hard enough to do it with NBA players and NFL players.
And you're just talking about licensing.
I'm talking about just licensing to say, hey, you give me a contract. You can, if you want my image on your game, here's, where's my check, right? Where's my royalties for it? But you think about how many kids are in college. When you look at the number of kids in college, and every one of them, you have to go negotiate with all of them in order for the game to be authentic.
And then you've got to factor in which sport they play. Because football moves the needle, basketball right behind it. But then you get into the sub sports, and I'm sorry,
baseball, softball, they don't make as much.
They just don't make as much. They just don't have the draw. They don't have the TV contracts, the TV money.
Most of those are negative
That's right.
money, negative dollar sports. Right there. So, baseball might be close to break even. But when you get outside, like you said, football and basketball, the rest of them, if they're breaking even, they're having a good year.
Yeah, and so then you've got So, okay. So then again, my question is, it feels like more now that we're negotiating with these athletes per school as far as what we can offer you. I already know the endorsement stuff. Like Reed Shepherd, I think, had like a watch commercial or something when he first got on campus. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I don't know what he was making, but I'm fine with that. If Rolex wants to pay Reed Shepherd, that's fine. I just don't know where we draw the line is what power did Tennessee have to up this? There was a report that he wanted a Bugatti. He wanted $4 million and a Bugatti.
Yeah,
I don't know how much a Bugatti costs, but
technically Tennessee cannot pay him.
That's right.
That's under the NCAA rules. The school cannot pay them.
It just feels like that, though.
But so what happened was that the school fan bases got together and said, "Hey, we're going to." And Tennessee was one of the first to do this. That's why they were able to rebuild so quickly under Heupel. Because remember a few years ago, Tennessee was left bare.
They were down. Yeah,
and so
they had allegations, and I think they were on suspension.
It almost helped them. Yeah. It almost seems like it helped them because when NIL came out, they embraced it. The fan base got together and said, okay, we're going to start this what they call a collective. And it's basically that you all the fans can give into this collective, and then they can go out and bid on players and say, hey, if you come to Tennessee or Kentucky or what have you, then we as a fan base are going to pay you for your name to use your name, image, and likeness. And so that's what happened. So, and it's hard to stop that because how can you blame a kid who said, hey, I got this money in front of you?
Oh, yeah.
And but the thing is that there needs to be some limit to it, in my opinion, because if you're going to ask for $4 million, then I applaud Heupel. I think he should have said, "Well, bye. Well, we're going to play football without you."
Hey, you know who else applauds Heupel is all of the other schools that really. I mean, like I said, it could have been a precedent set that. Oh, okay, sorry, we don't want to lose our quarterback. Yeah, we don't want to lose our quarterback. We'll give you what you need.
He's making $250,000 less on NIL, and he's in, like you said, he's out in UCLA. So he's not that it's shabby or anything out there, but it's that's a good program, but it's not like what he was having at Tennessee playing in the SEC and the exposure. Yes, he's still playing. He's playing in the Big Ten because the Big Ten is like 20 teams or something like that, 22 teams or something.
Because I didn't know Stanford had moved. I was actually arguing with my son. I'm like, listen, they are not in the Big Ten. They are in the Pac-12.
It's like,
and sure enough, they were.
Yeah, it's like
they moved too.
The what I do like about that, and I know this is off topic, but I do like the fact that the SEC has put some limits on expansion. So I think we're at 16 teams. Is that where we're at?
I think
16?
so. Yeah.
I think that they want to get to 18. I don't think they want to go to 20. Yeah. I think they want to get. I think they really want FSU. I think they would like to have FSU and Clemson. But that's also possible. They might want. Somebody like North Carolina or something. So maybe 20s on the outside, but it's a big deal. I mean, look how it changed college basketball this year, wherein you had Kentucky didn't play home and home with a lot of our traditional home and homes.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, when you lose one or something like that, you're like, oh, well, we'll get them next. Well, there's not a next time, maybe.
Yeah, because you always played one at home, one on the road.
And this is the first year I think we played Alabama twice.
Yeah,
I mean, that was unusual.
Yeah.
So we played because we played Alabama 3 times this year, including the SEC tournament. So anyway, back to the regular program, man. But
that's a good point though. Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I agree with you. I think there should be a cap. Here's the problem is, again, you've got different schools. So is it a cap across the board, or do you put a bigger cap in for, Sam Houston State? We're about to talk about them. And then put in a different cap for an Alabama player.
I don't think so. I think what you do is because one of the issues is you want to start spreading around. I think you want to spread around the talent. And so if you put different limits on different levels of teams, then you're not going to be able to do that. You're not going to have mid-major teams be able to move up to a major level.
Competitive balance.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what in NFL. The salary cap creates a competitive balance. That's why you see some teams do really well for a few years and then they fall off, and then another team steps up. That's kind of what you want to see. I mean, that's what you see in college basketball or college football a lot, and basketball for that matter, but mostly in football. But there for a while, it's because it's really just two leagues. It's either the SEC or the Big Ten.
No.
That's who you see. Going back and forth. The rest every now and then there's a team that pops up that kind of makes some noise, but usually it's going to be one of those two leagues that's got the talent to do it.
But if you remember, I mean, I know you do, but if you remember back in the 80s, you had, start of dynasty, 70s, 80s, I should say, start of dynasties in the NFL, all the way up into the 90s where the Cowboys had their run, and then the salary cap came in. And then it's very hard. That's why it was so unprecedented what the Patriots did, because they did it with so many different faces. But at the same time, that salary cap changed things.
And it wasn't like they were spending, like maxing out the salary cap every year.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And like I said, it's just, I think to keep the competitive balance, and that's exactly where I was going with this whole thing, was the competitive balance in college football. It's never real. We've always said SEC. So when you look at different conferences, maybe the competitive balance was never there, but at least it had to do with recruiting. And hey, he just out recruited you.
Yeah.
Maybe some hush money here and there. We don't know, but at the same time, now where it's out in the open, I want more money. I want this. It's kind of becoming a business very quickly, and I understand that that's the point, a little, but it's taking the amateur sport away.
I mean, the thing is here's the question: if it was changed in the NCAA, all of a sudden they said, okay, we're going to just stop making money off of this, right? We're not going to make it, like they become like a nonprofit that says, okay, we're not going to make more than our expenses, right? So all we're doing is charging back to the fans for admission and blah, blah, blah. We're not going to sell jerseys. We're not going to do this, then that. Would you care? Would you go to the games with the resulting? Because what would happen is a semi-pro league would jump up in both football and basketball. That would probably become as popular over time as the NCAA. The NCAA just has a great product, and we all love it. And the thing is that will we love it in that form, and that's kind of what either the NCAA, we allow it to morph into what it's becoming, or we have to we pull the reins back and say, okay, we're not going to make money off of it. The kids aren't going to make money off it. That we're going to be strictly go back to 1940s, 1950s, that nobody's making money. We're all just cheering on our local schools and blah blah blah. Are we going to like that?
No,
I'm not going to like it.
No,
I like it the way it is, and I'm okay with the change. I don't always like the changes, but it's kind of one of those things. You accept them, you let them, and move on.
Yeah, I'm just glad that Tennessee didn't allow to be allowed to be held hostage.
Yeah,
they made a decision.
I do. I mean, and I think that's a limiting factor because he was getting paid. I mean, he was getting paid $2 million a year at Tennessee. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
It is.
I mean, he may not see that in the NFL.
Yeah, or
right?
he may not make it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I get it. It's like get your money when you can get it, but. Man, if you came into college 10 years ago, I mean, you're eating ramen noodles is what I heard, all these athletes talking about,
true.
They can't afford to eat.
A lot of that's true.
And I mean, Arian Foster said that he couldn't afford to eat.
I remember the school wasn't allowed to give him a hamburger.
Oh yeah.
It's like, well, now they're allowed to feed them and stuff like that. But it was like, you weren't, they're not allowed to feed them like in off season and stuff like that, and I'm okay with it. Yeah. I'm okay with it with college football, college basketball, and baseball for that matter. Baseball has always been a little different because they there's multiple drafts for baseball. You have the amateur draft and then you have the college draft.
Yeah. And people that get drafted.
And really, I like that system because
But it also kind of alleviates the bust, because like in the NFL draft that's coming up, they got a hit.
Yeah, that's
next Thursday.
Thursday, yeah. It's right around the corner.
They got a hit. You know, every general manager, they get fired the next year if they don't hit. Like there's there's pressure.
That's
on
right. You know what happened to your scouts?
That's right. You've got to bring people in that hit right away. So you know, development leagues. It's just like the NBA. I mean, that's why these guys that get taken. Daniel Orton, who averaged 6 minutes a game, gets drafted because they can stick him in the G League. Hope he hits. If not, it didn't really cost him anything.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is. I mean, think about the draft. How it changes the draft. You know, the NBA used to have, you know, what, 6-7 rounds, more rounds.
They've got two now.
That's it. Yep. And the reason for that is because that forces for more free agency and more people moving around. NBA is tough because it's like it's the shortest bench.
Yeah,
right?
It really is.
Right. So you have 55 players in the NFL. You have 27 players in baseball, and you have what, 14 or 12? 12 in the NBA. That's tough. I mean, and I think they just did the same thing in college, right? Where they're saying you get 15 roster spots and that's it, something like that.
I think so, because I was doing the math the other day because we were talking about Kentucky, and we'll talk about it in just a second. But the fact that with Lamar Wilkerson and we talked about him, the Figuera. Remember, you did the Figuerio the last time.
Yeah,
it sounded really good, though.
Man, you're going to have to get on these names.
I know.
I mean, they're not going to get better.
I just wish they were like Smith.
You know what? Well, let's hope we get Dame Sarr in Kentucky. Then it'd be easier.
There you go.
Yeah.
3 and 4.
How many times do you call him? Yeah. How many times do you call him Star when you look at it, right?
Yeah, probably. But anyway, you know, we were talking about the roster spots when the one guy, once we signed Jaden Lowe, he transferred out. That left one open spot. So before we only had one spot left. We really didn't lose anything. So now we have 2 spots left. We just filled one. Like I said, we'll get to that in a second. But I think we've still got one more left. I think Kentucky's not done. So. I think we've got one more spot.
So let's see. The people coming back, and I'm sorry, I'm starting through this a little bit. I was trying to think of if there was I was thinking there was at least one, maybe 2
coming back.
No, two spots open. I'm trying to.
That's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure there's 2.
I think there's 2 spots because
I can't think of his name. I wanted to say Ament, but he's still here.
Nate Ament.
Yeah, he's here.
He's not in our thing though.
He's in recruiting, right?
He's being recruited. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the one of the last 5 stars.
Yes,
he's the last 5-star, I think.
I'm talking about the guy that left because of Jaden Lowe he was a point guard.
Oh,
they were built like exactly the same.
Wasn't that Wilkerson we were talking about?
No,
was it Wilkerson? Caden.
Yes,
Caden Lewis.
Caden Lewis. Yes. I knew it was similar to Ament. That's what I was saying.
Yeah. Caden Lewis. Yeah, he left because he didn't want to. You know, it didn't look like it doesn't look like he wanted to come in and compete.
Perfect. So good segue there. Thanks for the save. So Lamar Wilkerson, Sam Houston State, picked IU over Kentucky this week. You see this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and this is what he said. Okay, he said, "I didn't want to go to Kentucky and just be another guy." Now, this is a guy that's coming off of a year where he scored over 20 points a game, Mark. 20 points. He shot 44% from 3.
Yeah.
This guy's good. You know, I mean, at all accounts, of course, he played at Sam Houston State. There could be that transitional period where it's step up the competition.
And we have to look at his defense. Right.
But this guy was a bona fide scorer. He was a bucket. And he literally says that he goes to IU because he just wants to reinvigorate the program, and that's what we call hodgepodge, okay, because I'm not buying it. You didn't come to Kentucky because I think Kentucky, again, Mark Pope's done one thing right since he's been here, and that's if I've got to tear this thing down to the studs every year, I'm going to use that transfer portal.
Oh, he is, and he's good.
He's really good, and I think guys want to play with him because he's passionate, and I really do believe that's with Pat Kelsey at Louisville as well. I think Pat Kelsey has won that fan base over.
Money.
And also
there's a lot of money. That's something I want to talk about on one of our shows in the future. Is how does Louisville have all this money? Where does it come from? Where does all this NIL money come from for Louisville? Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Do we need conspiracy music?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't think it's conspiracy music. It's just that there's some things that I just kind of want to know. I don't know.
Okay, we need to get to that. We'll get to that some Because
I mean,
I'm interested.
I think we need to dig into that a little bit because I'm wondering where do they at one time they talked about U of L and I'm not trying to be a U of L hater, but
you're doing a great job.
Yeah, well, but
was natural.
I could play one on TV. No, but I just wondered because they used to talk about how U of L was considered one of the highest, one of the highest valued school basketball programs, right, in the country. And part of that value was the fact that they get money from the state of Kentucky. They were getting, I don't know if they still do, but at one time they were getting money from the state of Kentucky if they didn't fill their arena to help pay for KFC Yum Center.
You're kidding?
No, that was one of the deals that when they were able to, there was like some minimum number that if they couldn't get enough people or whatever to help pay for.
Is Doge looking into this?
I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm wrong on that, but
every Louisville fan driving around right now is saying you're wrong about it, and every Kentucky fan's going, "I knew it, I knew it."
Yeah, so it was like it was something in the initial. In the initial way they set up the Yum Center, the pay for the Yum Center, there was monies that had to be, there was like reserved monies or something that had to go into it to make sure it was paid for, and the school got an X amount of dollars.
Yikers.
And so I was like, it's crazy. But anyway, I mean, and if I'm completely wrong on that, somebody let us know. Just slap me up on slap me up on Facebook or something. Let me know how wrong I am. But that's all good. But
is there a slap button on Facebook?
I don't know. I mean,
if there
should be,
there should be.
But
Lamar Wilkerson saying
maybe
that
we'll start our own, and then we'll put a slap button.
That's right.
On there.
We need a slap button, like a Three Stooges button to just hit them with everything. But speaking of Kentucky's depth, I do think that speaks to Kentucky's depth when you've got two guys now who have said, I don't want to come in and compete. I think that is what speaks to the depth. I think Mark Pope, once again, is assembling a competitive crew. And something, I put this down as kind of a bullet point. Do you think he saw something or heard something that made him think that they don't need him as much? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. He could have looked at the way that Kobe Bryant was used this year and coming off the bench.
Yeah. Because Kobe starts for a lot of teams.
He does. I mean, he started for Kentucky late. I mean, it's just that, when you had, Kobe Bryant, I think, again, I don't think his defensive
liability at times.
It was,
picked it up late.
He did pick it up late, and he had to, but that was also Mark Pope's influence on him as a coach, as a teacher, as a mentor, to be able to say, guys, if you want to make it, you're going to have to pick up your defensive end, and these are the things that we need you to do. And so they worked on it all year, and they became a top 15 defense by the end of the year. But they were in the 75th rank or something like that most of the year. Yeah. But late they were able to shut down teams a lot better. Just not enough to overcome the deficit of offense that they lost when people got hurt.
Yeah.
And so that's another thing you look at is the people that got hurt. Did we get better on defense because the people who were hurt weren't as good on defense, but they were better on offense. So, it's like that thing. You need to have both offense and defense. You have to put points on the board and keep the other team from scoring to be able to win games.
Name of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, last time I checked, I think whoever scores the most points
wins the game. That's usually how it works.
Andrea Jelovic. I think I got the last name right because I've heard it a bunch. Jelovic.
Yeah, he is from Croatia.
Yeah.
And
who's our last Croatian basketball player?
That was Kirk Kriisa from there? No. Or no, was that
let's say you're going to say a name, then I'm going to go, that ain't what I heard, but I could be wrong. But Big Z.
Big Z. It was Big Z. Yeah, he was.
Croatian sensation.
I'm sorry, Kirk Kriisa was from Serbia, I think.
Okay.
So, yeah. My apologies.
No, you're good. But Big Z.
I dropped the ball when you said that.
Big Z left Cal.
Yeah.
He's in Illinois. Playing with his brother.
Did he actually go? I figured that's where he'd end up. I figured that he wanted to go up there and play with his brother. But, he didn't turn out to be that as good. I mean, we all kind of felt like that when he came to Kentucky. He was like, this guy's going to be raw. He's not a defensive player.
I think when you're that big, why not?
I'm going to tell you right now, I think that Mark Pope would have helped him a lot.
Yeah.
Because Mark Pope's a big man. He plays a very similar game. He played a very similar game in college. And he would have loved having his height and his length to be able
And the
to pass
fact that he could shoot.
Yeah, and he could pass.
Yeah.
And he would have been great under Mark Pope, but he left, followed Cal. Worked out. He was a little bit better at Arkansas than he was at Kentucky, but he still had a lot of defensive holes and things. He's tall, but he's not a rim protector.
Yeah.
Not really. He gets blocks, but just because he's so tall.
Andrea Jelovic, power forward, 6'11", 220 pounds. He's 21 years old. He's going to be a freshman. This is going to be a true freshman, so he'll have years of eligibility left. He averaged 13.8 points on 70% shooting, almost 45% from three-point range during this last ABA league playoffs. So, you're one of Europe's top players.
He is, and I think he's going to be a really good. He's going to be. I'm going to liken him a little bit to Andrew Carr, but maybe a little bit more, definitely a more offensive punch than Andrew Carr.
I love Carr's motor.
I do too. Oh my gosh, he's one of the guys I'm going to miss the most.
Yeah.
I'm going to miss a lot of these guys.
Me too.
But I really liked how Carr. I thought that really hurt us when Carr went out with his back. And I think that hurt us because the energy level was different. The like you said, the motor wasn't. Sometimes you lost. If the rest of the team was down, you could always point to Andrew Carr to just go do something.
Yeah.
Right. And I felt like he did a really good job of that. Kirk Reese was the same for me. He was a little bit overzealous. Kind of got a head over heels a little bit, but he was. But still, sometimes you need somebody to just come out and light a fire.
Yeah.
And then Jackson Robinson, he moped a little bit from time to time. You could tell he was down when he wasn't hitting or something. But I think he worked through that pretty well throughout the year and was a different person by the end of the year.
Yeah, well, we didn't really get to see.
Unfortunately, he was.
He didn't look very mopey sitting on the bench in street clothes.
But we missed
him though. I mean, I think that was a hujust loss.
It was. Because it won. He was like 6'6". Was he 6'6", 6'5", something like that?
Depth at the point guard position.
You have a wrist injury. It was really weird because I thought he had a wrist injury on his non-shooting hand, and then all of a sudden it was on his shooting hand too.
I think it's osmosis, the way you sleep at night.
Is what it is.
jumps
around.
Side.
My left ankle. I fell asleep. My left ankle. I couldn't move it. My right ankle. Woke up my right ankle. I can't move it. My left ankle feels great.
What hump?
Brutesy.
On the way out the door here, I did want to hit a couple of quick hits on the NFL draft. We prefaced it earlier. April 22nd, 8 p.m. That's next Thursday.
Yeah.
I just want to run through the local teams here. We'll get your Bengals here in a second too, and I got a player for you. We'll see what you think about this. But the Tennessee Titans have the #1 overall pick. Now, I will give a shout out to my Broncos real fast. I was not going to.
You're not going. Yeah,
I wasn't going to.
Getting out of here without doing. I mean, you wore the hat.
My head's spilling, people. That's the only reason. Out in the sun a lot.
But hey, you could have chose a different hat.
I don't have another hat. And if I did, it'd probably be another Broncos hat. But anyway, the Tennessee Titans, #1 overall pick. The Broncos have never had the #1 overall pick in their history of a franchise. The Ravens have never had the #1 pick, and the Seahawks have never had the #1 pick. The Ravens a little different because they're an expansion team, and came back in after
they did not have the. They did not get in. The Ravens were not an expansion team.
Oh, they became the Browns.
Right.
The Browns became the Ravens.
Right. And then the Browns had the #1 pick.
Yes.
And picked Couch.
And then the Browns had was the expansion when they came back in.
That's right. And the Browns picked Tim Couch as that #1 pick, I think, or maybe it was the second year they had the #1 pick. They had Couch.
And then Tim Couch was assaulted daily,
every day. He was a good player.
Oh yeah.
But he struggled with that. They had no line.
Yeah. He had no offensive weapons. It was just him chucking it down the field all the time.
I really wish that we could have seen him play with a better squad.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway.
And that goes to show you, though, the hit or miss in a draft in the NFL. You don't have the time, and that's why you see Sam Darnold's and Baker Mayfield's and all these guys going to different teams and then finally finding it. But it took them 4 or 5 years, and that's just not the timeline the NFL allows.
Because the pick looks sexy.
Yeah,
right.
That's true.
For a GM, it's like, I'm gonna get Tim Couch, and Tim Couch broke all these records at Kentucky and blah blah blah, and and he was highly regarded. He wasn't as highly regarded as Peyton Manning was out of Tennessee, but it was the same era.
Yeah,
and so when he got there, if you don't have tools, it's better to go ahead and buy the tools.
Yeah,
and put the tools in the tool chest before you go hire the carpenter. To make sure.
That's a good point.
So he, Tim Couch got there. There was no tools to use. He had talent, but when you're trying to hammer a nail with your fist, it doesn't do anything. So,
and he was doing it with his helmet on the turf because he got sacked a bunch. But I digress. So the Tennessee Titans, #1 overall pick, they are projected. Now these are just obviously projections. I don't have a crystal ball, but I did go through Chat GPT and I asked it a bunch of times. And the top 4 picks for all of these teams I'm about to read off, same one. 5 out of 6 times. I mean, it was pretty accurate. But Tennessee Titans #1 overall pick and everyone's favorite, his quarterback Cam Ward out of Miami.
Yep. What
do you think about him?
I don't have a lot on him. I didn't watch a lot of it, a lot of Miami football this year. But I think that I just don't know if he's worth a #1 pick overall. But it's.
I just have one thing. Let's see if you know what I'm talking about. There's a difference between throwing to open receivers and throwing receivers open.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And I believe he was throwing to a lot of open receivers. Now, I could be wrong, but he doesn't seem like to me. I'm not sold on Shedeur Sanders. I'm not sold on Cam Ward, and these guys are going to go back to back.
Well, look at Kansas City. Look at my mind went blank on the quarterback.
Patrick Mahomes?
Mahomes. Look at Mahomes, and he's an example of throwing a guy open.
You just wanted me as a Broncos fan to say his name.
I did. No, that's not true. I was like, I had M on my mind. I was trying to get it out, and I was like, it's couldn't coming out.
Kermit,
it's one of those things.
Kermit the Frog.
But however, but he's a good example of throwing a guy open. His movements, his eye motions, his arm motions help get guys open more often than them just being a good route.
And it's anticipation. Yeah. Peyton Manning was one of the best at anticipation. He would throw the ball before the receiver was looking.
Absolutely.
And that takes reps. It takes practice. It takes, just.
I don't know if Cam Ward isn't that. It can't be that guy.
It can't be that guy.
I don't know if he can't be that guy, but I don't know that.
I got a feeling this guy's gonna be shuffling teams in 4 years. I just do. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, but they need a quarterback.
They do. Will Levis, I was rooting for him, but
he's not the guy.
He just makes too many bonehead plays. If he could stop turning the ball over, I mean, that would be a plus.
When Tom Brady, when he came in the league. One of the things about Tom Brady is he made the play in front of him. He didn't try to make something new happen or something weird happen or something great happen. He just played the game in front of him. And we didn't like that as Colts or Bengals fans, but we were Colts fans back in the day, and we were Colts fans. While Peyton was there, we really liked watching Peyton Manning as a Colt.
Plus, you lived in Indy.
And we lived in Indy for a few years, but around that time.
Yeah.
And so when Tom Brady came in, he was a Michigan guy, so we didn't like Michigan too much because Kathy's from an Ohio State family.
That's right.
Well, part of a family, but Ohio State and Notre Dame, probably neither one like Michigan too much. And then
I don't like Michigan either.
Yeah. So that turns us off automatically. And then it became a rivalry.
Yeah,
and
great one.
And Tom Brady came out ahead on that, and that's fine. I still don't believe that Tom Brady was the better quarterback, but man, he was the best quarterback it was a really great quarterback in a really great system. And those two things come together and magic happens.
Yeah.
And I think that that you saw that play out,
I think the GOAT discussion with Brady really kind of cemented when he went to Tampa and won.
Yeah.
Because it was about, it's Bill Belichick and Brady. Was it more Bill Belichick? Was it Brady? And then it was like, here it is, the Patriots haven't made the playoffs since Brady left.
That's true. I mean, and I felt the same way.
Yeah. And I didn't like Tom Brady either, especially when you looked at a quarterback.
Respect.
Yeah, but I mean, throwing the football, it's hard for me to believe anybody thinks that Peyton Manning didn't have a better ball,
Peyton Manning was Peyton Manning didn't have, arm strength and what have you, but
accuracy though.
But
man.
he understood where he understood situation, where people were going to be, and he made the call. Excuse me. He made the call and the play on the field.
Yeah.
And he knew what was going to happen. When he stepped up to the line, he knew what was when he looked over the line. I think more often than not, he knew what was happening, where he was going to go. And I think Tom Brady was the same way in a lot of ways, because he would make because he knew where his guys were going to be. I wouldn't say that Tom Brady threw people open a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
mostly.
He had two great tight ends for a long run of that.
That's a big deal.
He had Randy Moss in a year. I can't believe. I don't know if you saw the roast of Tom Brady on Netflix, but Randy Moss was on there, and he's like, why don't I have a ring? Like, all these other guys have rings. You won 7 Super Bowls. I played with you for 3 years. Why don't I have a ring? And, of course, he was a part of the 07 team that went undefeated and lost to the Giants in the Super Bowl. But, the thing about it is
and here I am rooting against – I'm rooting against I'm rooting against the Patriots in that game. And I'm an AFC guy, right? And, normally I wouldn't root for an NFC team because, as I was growing up, the NFC was winning all the time.
Yeah.
Right. And, I think except for the Raiders, I think they won everything in the 80s.
Yeah.
And straight up until I think Denver was the first AFC team to win.
In 13 straight years.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So to me, it was a big deal. So to me, it was a big deal not to root for an AFC team in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And to see, so I was when the catch and all that happened.
Oh yeah, David.
Yeah, that was it was like, how did the ball not
I mean, honestly,
stuff,
you got he got out of that one with a loss, but the Falcons come back. I mean, that was historic. Never been an overtime game, let alone coming down from 25. But then also you had the Seahawks, not giving it to Marshawn Lynch on the 1 yard line.
How do you not?
I mean, so he's got 2 rings that are kind of questionable, and Eli Manning was 2-0 against him.
And you can almost look at that, like you said, the 07, and look like, well, he probably should have had that one.
Yeah.
He probably should have won that one, but they pulled one out.
He might have should have won both. Giants games, because the Giants had no offense. I mean, they were a very poor offensive team
until the Super Bowl. And then all of a sudden it was like they were able to play ball.
But, okay, so we got the Cleveland Browns. They're going number 2. So we got Cam Ward coming off at 1. We've got another quarterback, Shedeur Sanders. He's been in the news this week. His numbers being retired at Colorado. It has sparked controversy with a lot of former Colorado players, including Cordell Stewart, who was Colorado's quarterback and, of course, nicknamed Slash, and did everything, punted, caught, ran routes, ran the ball, and, of course, was a quarterback. He did everything. Kicked field goals. I mean, the dude was Slash. That's why he got his nickname. Yeah. But his number's not retired. And it kind of was like daddy pulled some strings.
I mean, and
along with Travis Hunter.
I saw that. I'm like, man, it's like
both jerseys retired.
I mean, no disrespect to what they've done. He's a great player, but it's like, does he really deserve that?
And Chad Brown, former linebacker for the Pittsburgh Steelers, former linebacker for the Colorado Buffs. He was actually a part of the national championship team the last time the Colorado won it in 1990. But he was on a show I was listening to, and he said, basically when you look at this from a historic standpoint, when you retire someone's number, it's basically saying that no one could come close to fulfilling your shoes in that number. And if you like I said, I don't know if that's going to be the greatest quarterback that comes through, and especially you're making that decision after 2 seasons.
Well, can you imagine? Yeah, because you imagine that he goes to because he's in the draft, right?
Oh yeah. So he's projected to go number 2 to the Cleveland Browns.
And so he goes to
that's set up for failure.
I'm telling you. So he goes to the Browns, and if the Browns take him, and then he's a bust. I mean, it's more likely he's going to be a bust. Yeah. I mean, just think about it. It's just who are the number one? There's only been
we've already talked about Tim Couch. I mean, there's a bunch of them.
Yeah, I mean, but you look at. I mean, there's no guarantee for number 1, number 2, number 50. Tom Brady was a 3rd round pick,
a 6th
round pick. Right, 6th round pick. Thank you for correcting me because I forgot. I forgot he was even that further down.
Yeah, 6th round pick.
So I mean, so you think about it.
And he won a national championship with Michigan. So I mean, that's like
yeah. I mean, but I think he was more of a baseball player than a football player.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, he didn't get his jersey retired. Yeah. Well, and they made the point. Tim Tebow, he won 2 national championships and a Heisman. Florida ain't retired his jersey.
No,
so I mean,
no. I mean, it's but it's Colorado. It's Colorado, man. He's not in. They're not in the SEC. They're not in the Big Ten.
Yeah, and weed's legal. I mean, they're doing a lot of stupid things out there. Okay, so then we got the Indianapolis Colts at number 14. Indianapolis Colts at number 14. Now they're projected to take Tyler Warren. This tight end is from Penn State. I do know a little bit about him because he was on the board for the Broncos need, and then they signed Evan Ingram in free agency. So I think tight ends kind of come off the board in the first round. But anyway, this guy is very athletic. He reminds me a lot of Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Kind of quick off the line, being able to catch the ball really fast. More athletic, I think.
Runs good routes.
Yeah, because Travis is kind of, at least in the last few years, Travis has kind of taken a step back as speed goes. But for some reason, he's still wide open for 30-yard gashes. But anyway, that's for the Colts. So.
You know who I wish Cincinnati would have picked up was it Burrows out of Georgia that went to I'm talking about?
Yeah. Last year, you mean?
Yeah. The last year's draft.
Yeah, last year's draft. Yeah.
That guy is just he runs great routes. He can block. He he does it all. And that out of the tight end position, I think that would fit.
Oh, you're talking about Bowers from Georgia.
Bowers, that's what it is.
Okay,
Bowers,
yeah.
Thank you. I said Burrows, but Bowers is what I meant. Yeah.
Joe Burrows from Georgia. No, but Brock Bowers from Georgia.
Brock Bowers.
I know because he's a Raider.
Yeah, and that kid is a great tight end.
Yeah,
he's a great tight end. Yeah. Well, I know he's in.
Well, yeah. I mean, when you got to put Pat Surtain on him to shut him down, he's good. And then, so that's number 14 with the Indianapolis Colts. Wrapping it up here, Cincinnati Bengals, number 17. They picked the 17th pick. This guy's Nick Emenwari. Now, do you remember this guy? He played for South Carolina, SEC boy. They say he is the best athlete. Now, you got to think this is a draft, the Travis Hunter, who I think maybe not deserve the Heisman over Ashton Genty because Ashton Genty was very close to breaking Barry Sanders' all-time record.
Yeah.
But Barry Sanders played at Boise State. But if he played anywhere else, I'm sure Ashton Genty.
Barry Sanders didn't play at Boise State.
No, Ashton Genty played at Boise State. If he played at Oklahoma State like Barry Sanders did, he probably would have won the Heisman. But anyway, Travis Hunter won it.
Maybe.
Good for him. But you've got Ashton Genty, Travis Hunter. You've got the Abdul Carter, the edge rusher from Penn State. There's some freak athletes in this draft. Nick Emenwari, they say, is the best athlete in this draft. Hard-hitting, free-flying safety. Had 7 picks. Had 3 picks as a freshman, all SEC team defense. If the Bengals get him, he's kind of one of those Cam Chancellor, 6'3", 220, headhunter.
Yeah.
And he's a ball hawk. So
yeah, I like, but I 6'3", that's a good size. It's good size for a safety, because I think that's a position that we definitely need at the Bengals. I mean, it's and I'm glad to see them go after that. I think they were able to keep basically everybody on board. They were able to restructure contracts and stuff to
both their linebackers.
Yeah, and so I think that we are in pretty good shape for this year. If we can keep everybody healthy, I think that we have an opportunity to kind of go back to where we were a couple years ago. Last year, we suffered on defense.
Oh, yeah, defense.
Horrible. We were scoring as much as we wanted, but defense, like I'm going out there, carrying the ball.
I actually saw, though, a stat on Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. That is the greatest quarterback receiver duo not to make the playoffs when all they needed to win was 9 games.
Yeah.
I mean, so you think about that. They had a phenomenal season. If anybody had Joe Burrow or Jamar Chase in their fantasy leagues, they were pretty successful.
Yeah.
And it was their defense. They would just lose games 42-40, and you just can't do that.
You can't not in the NFL.
Yeah.
Not in the NFL. I mean, you can go out and you can score a bunch, but you've got to stop people. Yeah. It's the number one rule in the NFL is you've got to be able to stop somebody.
Last one for me. Maxwell Hairston, cornerback for Kentucky. He's the only Kentucky or Louisville player projected to go in the first round.
Yeah.
So good luck to Maxwell Hairston. Good DB.
Yeah.
Good career at Kentucky.
Shout out to Max.
Yeah. So
yeah.
But I'll throw it to you, man. That's all I got.
Well,
I'm tapped out with the ammunition.
Well, thanks for coming in again today, Aaron.
It's always fun.
Then we're going to wrap it up today, guys. Thanks for joining us here on the Kentucky Talks Sports again this week. Hopefully we can get Aaron back next week. I'm kind of enjoying the sports talk, and we'll get back to some politics and local news next week with when Steve's back in the saddle. But until then, you all have a great weekend. Happy Easter to all of you, and be safe out there.